One of the most important things you can do when creating a publication is to create an original logo. In this lesson, we're going to go ahead and learn how to adapt and edit some pre-created logos in Adobe Illustrator. You will need to have Illustrator installed in order to do this assignment. Let's go ahead, go to Canvas. You need to go to the one called AI Logo Manipulation, and you need to download these 4 files. There's 9 typography logos, logo elements, some heraldic shields, and a font. So let's go ahead and go into our Adobe Illustrator, and let's go ahead and open those typography designs. Now, first thing that I'm getting is that I am missing one of these fonts. So I need to go ahead and make sure that I will go ahead and install that. So if you see here down here how it's pink, anywhere where it's pink is showing us that is where you have a missing font. So let's go ahead and go back out to, say close, go back out to our desk drive or your flash drive and double click on that nevis.ttf, which is a TrueType font. And I'm going to go ahead and push install. It's going to go ahead and install that font for me. Now when I go back into Illustrator, all of that pink is now gone. So I can go ahead and I know that that's fixed. So if you do find that problem, you can always go back through and install those fonts first. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is, of these, we're going to decide which one do we want to manipulate. So for my purposes, I'm going to go ahead and use this first one, this Heisenberg one. So I'm going to grab my selection tool. I'm going to drag select and select all the elements. Notice how it's selecting all those individual paths of all those individual parts. I'm going to do an edit. I'm going to do a copy because it's easier to manipulate these on its own document. So I'm going to do a file new. I'm going to go to print. I want a letter. Go ahead and give it to me in inches so I can kind of see what's going on. And I'm going to go ahead and do portrait is fine, and create. So one of the first things I want to do is view my rulers, and I'm going to drag down a guide to 5.5 and 4 1/4, just so I can have a kind of a rough idea where the center point of this document is going to be. I'm then going to do a Control V to paste, and notice how it is almost exactly in the center. So I can use my arrows to nudge that around. So what I'm going to do is hold my Shift and Alt with my selection tool, and I'm going to grow that logo even larger because it's a vector image. I can actually do that. If we try to do that in Photoshop, it wouldn't necessarily work as well. So one of the next things I'm going to do is, if I look here, if I right click, all these are not grouped, which is fine, which means I can edit them one at a time. Go ahead and select all. I'm relatively centered right now. If you can see, these white dots are coming up on your guide, so it's relatively centered. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my text tool. And with my text tool, because this has not been converted to outlines or anything, I can actually go ahead and edit it. If it has been converted to outlines, you're going to have to play with it a little bit differently. So I'm going to go ahead and type my publication name in here. So whatever the name of your publication is going to be. Now I've got this circa 2018. I'm going to make this fall 2018. And down here it says laboratory. I'm going to write tagline goes here. So that works relatively well. Now I can see if I click on my selection tool, go to my tagline here, it's now not centered, so I can use my arrow keys and center it a little bit better. Alright, so that's not bad so far. Let's do a file, save as, and let's name it first initial, last name, pub logo, and go ahead and keep it as an Adobe Illustrator file and save. And it's going to ask you all these things. Go ahead and say yes. Alright, so let's add a few more items to our... Ooh, my publication's way off. I'm going to scoosh that over. There we go. Now it's centered. I'm going to go ahead and go to my desktop because that's where I saved it. I'm going to go ahead and open Elements 5. So in Elements 5, I have all these additional things that I can go ahead and put on my logo. So I'm going to decide, instead of this HB here in the middle, I'm going to use my type tool, get rid of the HB. I want to put an image there instead. So I'm going to go here to my Elements and choose an image. So I'm going to grab my selection tool. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit. I'm going to grab this cup. So I'm going to drag select over it. I'm going to do a Control C to copy. Come in here, do a Control V to paste, and I can use my arrow keys or I can do it by hand. Get it roughly where I wanted. I'm going to do a Shift Alt Hold to blow it up a little bit so it better fits. So that's not too bad. Now I can decide, okay, I don't like the black. I want it to go ahead and be another color. So I'm going to go up here to my color and I can choose another color here. If I wanted to, I could add a stroke. So I can see quite a few different things going on in my publication here. I can decide I want my publication not to be black. I want to go ahead and make it purple. So you have it really pretty easy to pick within what is available. We can make that purple too. And we made the fill purple. So you've got quite a few different ways of making this your own. When you're happy with it, I'm going to go ahead and change this to 2018 instead of 2808. So when I'm happy with it, I'm going to go ahead and do Control S to save it. I'm going to go to Object and Artboards. I'm going to fit artwork to bounds, and that's going to go ahead and cut off all that extra white space. We want to do that because when you drop this into your publication, you don't want to have it with all that extra white space. So I'm going to go ahead and do a file save. So right now it looks like it has a white background. It really does not. So let's go ahead and go into a InDesign document which I've set up. I've got my couple of headers set up, or placeholder set up right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do a file and a place. I'm going to go ahead and grab my logo. Now, because I did not have auto fit before I did this, it went as big as it actually is designed. So I can actually use these align tools and make it fit a little bit better. Or when I click on the box, if before I do it, I do auto fit. I do a file place, go ahead, grab the logo. It'll automatically fit in there. It's still a little bit out of proportion, so I'm going to go ahead and play with those fit content. And you'll notice if I go ahead and fill this box in with a color, that I definitely did maintain that transparency as we went along. You could do something as simple as putting the logo on your master pages, so it appears on every page. So I'm going to do a file place again. Because your logo is your one opportunity. Oh, let's go before we do that. Let's make sure it's auto fit. File place. This is your one opportunity to brand your publication. How are you going to use your logo effectively throughout? Go ahead and shrink it down. So now on all my pages that have this A master, I now have that logo automatically put in there. So it's totally up to you as to how you're going to use your logo throughout your publication, but it is your opportunity to create something that is unique. For the assignment, you need to go ahead and turn in a PDF. So do export, export as, and you want to go ahead and it's not going to give us the answer I want. Go ahead and make a ping for what we're doing. And we'll go ahead and turn the ping in for the assignment. And that's all you need to do to manipulate those logos online.